Boys, how do you feel about supernatural stories? Because I got a good one.
I'm weirdly cynical.
Yeah, I'm
Cynical?
very anti all that stuff.
You've never had a supernatural experience?
Well, no, you can't because they don't exist. So.
Okay.
I've watched movies.
Well, according to this Sydney woman who's gone viral, her TikToks have now reached over 1 million views. She's told a story about how she lives in a deceased estate. So someone has died in her house.
You can get them for a bargain these days.
And yeah.
I don't know if you can.
Oh, no, that's true, actually. They're still expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Used to, I think.
Her
Cheaper if the body's still there.
her
You
3-year-old
clean it up yourself.
Sorry, have you go.
Her 3-year-old daughter has made her first imaginary friend in the house. It's not like a fairy or a unicorn or like a mermaid. It is a middle-aged man named Joe. And Hannah, the mum who made the TikTok, is very concerned about it. She's here to tell the story now. Hey, Hannah.
Oh, Hannah, hi.
Hey guys, how are you?
We are good. So, a middle-aged man is your daughter's imaginary friend. Talk us through how this started.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's crazy, honestly. It's not like a wizard or a fairy unicorn, something that you expect a 3-year-old to come up with.
Okay.
So we moved in January to this house, and the woman who owned it before, their family lived there for 60 years.
Yeah.
She passed away, and then we bought it. And
Did they
since
tell
we
you that,
moved-
Han? Did they go, oh, hey, just letting you know? Or did you find that out after?
No, so they don't need to tell you if they don't pass away in the house, I'm fairly certain.
Okay.
So it
All
was
right.
her house, but she passed away in a aged care facility, I
Sure.
believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we moved in, and shortly afterwards, my 3-year-old daughter Hazel started talking about someone called Joe. And she would go downstairs in the house. It was always when she was downstairs, and I would hear her talking to no one, and she'd come up and say, oh, I was playing with Joe. And I was kind of like, okay, who's Joe? And she explained him to me, and she said, oh, he's a adult like you and Daddy, and he wears a red shirt and gardening gloves.
Okay.
He likes gardening. He has 2 kids, which I know that the family that lived there had 2 kids because they're the ones that sold it to us. He likes working on his cars as well.
Okay.
And it's always downstairs when they're talking.
So this guy was did he exist? He didn't live in the house?
This is what I'm trying to work out, because we have a sneaking suspicion it might be the guy that used to live there, like the dad of the family, but he would have passed away 20, maybe 30 years ago. So I put this video on TikTok not thinking much of it, and TikTok is like a wild and wonderful beast that I do not understand.
Yeah.
And it's gone completely viral, and I had all these comments from people saying, why don't you ask the neighbours?
Have you asked the neighbours?
Yes, we asked the neighbours, and it's not looking good for me trying to convince myself that Joe is in fact an imaginary friend.
Oh, what do you mean?
What did the
So-
neighbours say?
So the neighbours were saying they moved in 18 years ago. They couldn't confirm what the guy's name was who lived there because he passed away before they moved in.
Mm-hmm.
But they did tell me the name of the woman who lived there, and they told me a bit about what they knew of the property from her. So they told me that the woman and the man that lived there were in fact gardeners. And our property, we have kind of like a double block, and the back of it is like this big bush block, and it looks like a rainforest.
Yeah.
And apparently they planted all of those trees, and they kind of landscaped it into the fairy garden that it is at the moment. So him wearing gardening gloves and liking gardening started to make sense. And then they told me that the house beforehand, so it's kind of built on a slope. So the downstairs apparently used to be the garage. So the car would drive down
Where
under
we
the
would
house.
fix cars.
Well, that's where Joe would
Yes.
hang out. If Joe has not crossed over, as they say, then he would be in the yard or the
Do
old
we
garage.
know? Do we know
In
if
the
his name was Joe? Do they know
No,
that?
so I've been trying to, they didn't know because he passed away before they moved in. I've been trying to look it up, but I'm also half don't want to know, because what if his name is Joe? Does that mean that I have to move out? I think I would
no,
just
it
get
does. You
completely
have to
freaked
set
out.
fire to the house. You have to move far, far away.
Oh my
Obviously.
God. But I mean, let's be honest, property prices in Sydney, I won't be able to move out. So I'm just going to have to figure out a way for us to all live in peace together, set some ground rules.
Yeah.
So how often does your daughter hang out with Joe?
all the time.
All the time.
And she
Like every
talks
day.
about him, and she talks about him as well. Like we might be watching something on TV and she'll be like, oh, Joe's watched this movie before.
What?
And I'm
So-
like, what?
Does that mean Joe's sitting next to you guys on the couch too?
I don't know how it all works, but something really freaky happened last night as well, actually, and I have not put this on TikTok yet.
Yeah.
But I was asking her some more questions about Joe, and she started talking about him while I was putting her down. So we were like in her room, the lights were out. She started speaking, and I, of course, got my phone out and started recording.
Yeah.
And I know the last name because it was on the sale contract for the kids. I'm assuming their last name must be the same.
Yeah.
And I said to her, Hazel, what's Joe's last name? And the first thing she said was Joe. And I was like, okay, but does he have another last name? And then she didn't say it, but she started spelling it. And she did. She got like 5 out of the 7 letters correct.
She starts
There
spelling.
were, and she's 3. She barely knows how to spell her own name. So I was when she started spelling out the letters, I was like, oh my God.
Does your daughter go to preschool or something? Or
Yeah, she goes to a daycare 3 days a
tell her to
week.
make real friends because this is scary.
It's kind of exciting. Are you a little bit excited by it, Hannah?
I'm intrigued. I'm also a little bit creeped out. But yeah, there's also the other thing is there's this workshop that's under the house that the guy who used to live there, he actually built it underneath the house into like the rock face. And when we moved in, I've been in there a couple of times and it is creepy as all hell. And it's got a lot of his stuff in there and his tools. So the next thing, which I haven't gotten the courage to do yet, is that I'm going to go have a look in that workshop and see if there's anything
Maybe
that
just
might have his name on it.
Get rid of all the tools. Get rid of everything. Maybe he'll go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe, although will that anger him more?
Yeah.
Well, he's a ghost. What is he going to do?
Well, you can't pick up the Makita lawnmower.
No, but he can do weird stuff. He can like slam doors and like make glasses smash in the middle of the night.
Oh, not slam the door on
Not
me.
wind.
Scary.
That is so scary. You guys don't have to live there. It's fine for you to say that. Come and move in and then tell me about it.
Slumber party.
Sleepovers at Hannah's.
Your daughter coming up being like, I've got 2 new friends that are real, Jimmy and Nate.
That's when you need to be worried. Mummy, Jimmy and Nath are down in the garage
the guys
staying with Joe.
Hannah, thank you very much.
Thanks,
we
Hannah.
appreciate you coming on the show. You're a superstar. Good luck with it all and report back, okay?
Thank you guys. Will do. Talk to you
Thanks,
later.
and see you later.
Bye.